Hello farmers and welcome to another episode of The Harvest Season. My name is Al.
My name is Kelly.
And we're here today to talk about cottagecore games.
Woo!
2 weeks in a row, Kelly. What's happening here?
I know. It's even funny because Kevin brought it up. I did last year's Halloween.
Yes.
Which I totally forgot. Because I totally forgot Cult of the Lamb came out last year.
That was last year. My word, wild.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's just my season. I don't know what to say.
Yeah. I mean, why not? But hey, I think is this my first Halloween No, I was on one with Rochelle, with the original Graveyard Keeper.
I was going to say, Kevin brought that up last time, actually, yeah.
I hadn't played the game.
Okay.
So Rochelle was basically just telling me about it and I was asking questions. But I think I've not been on any of the other Halloween episodes, so I'm here.
Welcome to your own podcast Halloween episode.
Awesome. Well, thank you for joining us, Kelly. It's good to talk to you again.
Of course,
even if Kevin did steal you from me for last week.
I will say
this one has been organised for much longer.
Yes.
Much longer.
Last week was very impromptu. This is very much so planned.
Yeah. We had a bunch of different ideas for last week and none of them were really like enough. And there was a point where Kevin was like, I can't do the recording time we have. And I'm like, well, I'm traveling the rest of the time. So he kicked me off. He kicked me off my own podcast and brought you on instead. So thank you very much for that.
Always a pleasure. I did have to do a little briefing on it though, because I hadn't played Graveyard Keeper in like a year, and I was like,
yes.
What is this game again?
Well, we don't have that problem with this week's game because it's incredibly quick to play some of it and get a very good idea of what this game is. So this episode we're going to talk about Pumpkin Panic. And we'll have lots to say about that later on in the episode. But yes, we're going to talk about that. Just to mention that transcripts are available for the podcast in the show notes and on the website. So if you need that, that's where it is. Before we talk about Pumpkin Panic, we're going to talk about the news. But first of all, Kelly, what have you been up to?
I have been playing. I actually just finished this morning. I started playing the Cosmic Wheel of Sisterhood.
What is this?
So this is a interactive story game.
Oh, okay.
Where you play as a witch who has been banished from her coven.
Okay.
And you are kind of trying to make your way back into your coven, and you create tarot cards and you read the tarot cards to kind of create the gameplay and the world. Okay. And you have visitors. So I am not always great at story games because as much as I love reading, I also get very frustrated at a lot of stories in games. Yeah. And I thought they did this so good. I thought it was so much fun because you're so hands-on with it.
Yeah, so this seems a little bit more involved than like a standard visual novel.
Yes.
There's a bit. I mean, is it just mainly the one mini game that I'm seeing on this Steam page? It's with making the cards themselves.
Kind of. So that's like, you have that. You can do there's interactive stories within the story.
Oh.
So there's different, I wouldn't call them mini games, but the interactions are the rest of it.
Right. Okay.
And you kind of obviously.
But it's not just click a button, see the next bit. Here's one choice.
No. Yeah, right, there's definitely you make the choices as to what you're gonna do, who you invite over to your little house, and then even when you pull a tarot card, you have the choice as to how to explain the card.
Right.
So there is a lot of leeway into how the interactions go and how the story itself is gonna go. So I did a run. And I can do a totally different run next time.
All right. Interesting.
So you really do, you kind of write the story yourself as much as you can for, a multiple choice kind of game.
Okay. It has very positive reviews on Steam. It has
a demo.
Over 1,000 reviews.
There's a demo, which I would highly suggest playing because that's definitely what I did, and once I finished the demo, I immediately bought the game, and all of your stuff transfers over, which is so nice.
Nice.
Because I hate when you start a demo, especially for a game like this.
Yeah.
And you got to start it over.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I thought it was like a very nice little like casual gameplay, but like still very interesting.
Cool.
And like kind of emotional.
Shocking when they make you feel things.
Right?
How dare they?
What have you been up to, Al?
Well, speaking of making you feeling things, before I get into games, I have watched the new film Killers of the Flower Moon. Have you seen? I presume you haven't seen it.
I have not seen it yet. However, I have owned that book for like a decade or so. My dad bought it years ago. My dad's a very big like historical novel kind of person. And then we actually read it in my book club about 2 years ago or a year ago.
Okay.
I really enjoyed it. I thought the book was very good. I have not watched the movie yet, but I've heard very positive reviews.
Yeah.
Even from like the Native American community about the movie. Like, of course, there's some things that probably could have been done differently, but I think that's anytime it happens when you're telling somebody else's story.
Yeah, definitely. I think there's a lot about the film that is obviously, there's some some racist stuff in the film, right? Obviously. But that's the sort of thing where it's like, well, yeah, but you're talking about a racist crime, right? Yeah,
right? You're telling a story from 1930 or 20 or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. It's not. Don't go into expecting a good time.
Yeah, and like unfortunately, I don't think the story would be accurate if those things are kind of left out because they do play a big role in what's going on with the story itself. Yeah, absolutely.
But so I enjoyed that. It's very long.
Yes,
it's very long. So that's why I was up really late on Thursday night because of that. Because I saw the showing started at 7:30, and like I wasn't home until midnight. Wow. So I don't regret going to see it. It was very good, and I don't think it was like, it doesn't feel like it was unnecessarily long, right? Like I feel like he was doing something with every minute that you had.
Which I feel like is such a hard thing to achieve with some of these stories. Yeah. Like, I mean, I feel like like I didn't see Oppenheimer, but I feel like that a lot of people talked about that. Yeah. Feeling kind of like dragged out in a lot of spots.
Interesting. Yeah, I suspect a lot of these things depends on how you feel about quiet moments that make you contemplate.
Which I think these stories need those moments.
Absolutely.
So you can't be talking
about a massacre or about wiping out of a city without having some moments to make you think, wow, that's bad. Yeah.
Just on to the next scene.
Exactly. So it's quite graphic as well as a film. They probably could have done it in a less graphic way, but I understand why they did it the way they did it. So I enjoyed it. It was good. I don't think I'm going to watch it a second time. It's not like I'm going to watch this film again.
I will say on that note, the book is also extremely good. I know, Ali, you said you're probably not going to read it, but if anybody out there is interested, very interesting. I think some historical novels can be kind of boring and dragged out. Yeah. Because I do read a lot of history. This was very good. This was written in a way that like really you had to keep going no matter what. Yeah. It wasn't oh my god, what's his name? The Devil in White City guy, Eric Larson. Right. I like some of his works. They can also be a bit cumbersome. Yeah. So I don't think it was like that.
Fair enough. Yeah, just to make a point of it, like people don't like when I talk about the fact that I don't really read books, but I don't really read books, and it's not like I've read books as a child, and the problem is that I struggle because I don't have like the visual aspect in my brain. Like I'm not able to see the things that are described. So much of a book I just kind of skim over because it's like descriptive stuff that doesn't really mean anything because I can't see it.
Whereas I'm the complete opposite, and I see everything in my head, and then I get really mad when the movie comes out and skews my perspective on how I envisioned everything.
I always found that hilarious when people were like, oh, it's nothing like what it is in the book. It's not like what I imagined it. And I'm like, what do you mean it's nothing like what you imagined it? I don't understand what you mean by this. And now that I understand that people now make up images in their head, suddenly I understand what they mean now. They're like, oh, this isn't exactly what I had imagined in my head.
Yep. It's so funny because like my roommate is like you. She can't see anything in her head. And I'm like, well, what do you mean? How are you living? I don't understand.
Oh, I'm just like, how do you ever get anything done? Are you not constantly distracted by the things in your head?
I am. That is the issue.
So I've also played a bunch of games because I apparently haven't been on the podcast for multiple episodes. So I have played and finished Sonic Superstars and Mario Wonder. And I have been playing through the new Spider-Man game. That is taking me longer because just like it's on my PS5, you have to kind of sit down and deliberately do it like that. All those games are great. All those games are great. Sonic Superstars is good. Mario Wonder is fantastic. Spider-Man is fantastic. They both of those two games did things that I just wouldn't have expected what they did, and it's not just like, oh, they're another version of this game, right? They both do things that are like, this is brand new stuff, really interesting.
That's so exciting, really like. Especially for the Mario games, because I feel like, how long has it been? How many games have come out?
Yeah.
Like, how do you keep reinventing the wheel? But it's
definitely. Still
exciting to find out that they can.
Yeah, and I think I don't think they need to do that for every single game. Like I enjoyed every game in the new series. They're all fun. They don't have to be completely different. They all have new challenges in their different levels, but it is also fun to occasionally get like, this is just a completely different way of thinking. And the Wonder Flowers just do just crazy things in the levels that make it just so different. It's not just like, oh, here's a different power-up. And the new power-ups are fun as well, but it's not just like, oh, this one's a bubble instead of a fire, right? And that's fun, but it's not like a radical idea, whereas like the Wonder Flowers are like, what if this was a top-down game instead of a side-scroller? And you're like, what if? Apparently now we're doing that. I think it's the weird stuff that they did with that game. And it's like, what if the piranha plants sang?
Oh my God, I saw the clips of that. They're so cute.
It's just like, I love the idea of that. Let's just brainstorm 100. And the weird thing is every single level has one, right? It's not like, this is the sort of thing that you would if they told you about it, you'd be like, oh, that'd be fun. So like, it'd be like, oh, the boss battles have them, or what, like there's a couple of levels in every world. Every single world has one.
That's cool. That's very cool.
So yeah, good fun. I have also been playing Harvest Moon Winds of Anthos because I need to play that. So I'll talk about that next week. I don't think we need to talk about that just now. It is what it is. Cool. News. Should we talk about some news?
Yeah, we got tons of news, right?
Let's start with the controversial stuff. Disney Dreamlight Valley. Have you played this yet, Kelly?
No, I have not. I think when they first announced it, I was like, oh, this looks really cute. If I'm not playing anything, I'll probably play it.
Yeah. Were you waiting for it to go free to play? That's the question.
Yes.
Yeah, well, wait no longer. It is no longer going to be free to play.
So I don't think I will be playing it.
I think this is fast. So this is, okay, so for context.
Free to play, I know there's going to be some payment stuff, but you can kind of avoid it sometimes.
Yes. Yeah, definitely.
Or at least you can get an idea of what the game is before you decide to put money into it.
So, yeah, so let's put the
yes, sorry, jumping
discussion
ahead.
of that bit aside. Let's get into the actual news of it. So the game is leaving early access on the 5th of December. So that will be the first full version of the game, whatever that means. They have announced that it's not going to be free to play anymore, so you will have to buy it. They have also announced that there is going to be a paid DLC coming, which they're going to detail. You'll know more about this when you listen to this episode, because they're going to be saying more about it on the day this episode comes out. So I'm sure we'll cover that next week as well. But they have also said that they're still going to continue to have free content updates. So it's not all going to be paid DLC. I think there are so many different ways to buy this game now. It's weird. Have you looked at so in the main link on there, they've got a list of the new ways to buy the game, which is like you can just buy the game for $40.
I saw this.
Or you can buy the physical cozy edition, which also gives you some stuff, and that's $50. Or you can buy the gold edition, which also has more exclusive items and gives you the DLC, or you can buy the DLC separately. And these purchase options are on top of what the current purchase options are for early access, which you can still do until the 4th of December.
I think I got a headache just looking at this earlier.
I know. I
was like, bizarre. What is this, a streaming service? Like, what the hell is this? Yeah. Come on.
It feels like, so I think you can frame not being free to play as positive and negative, right? Negative, obviously, a bunch of people who were like, yay, I get to play the game without paying for it. Now don't get to do that. Mm-hmm. They either have to pay or they don't get to play the game. And that's really frustrating. I get why people would be frustrated by that. On the other hand, obviously, we know that free to play games are very manipulative.
Oh, absolutely.
And
yes.
Are very good at sucking money out of people. Mm-hmm. Having said that, it's not like there aren't going to be ways to pay for things inside the game after you've bought it. Well, so
that's what I was going to ask, right? Like, they're not removing microtransactions from the game.
It feels like they're just doing a bit of both worlds.
Yes. They want their cake and they're going to have their cake and eat it too, kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not.
And then the $40 base price is kind of wild.
It does seem...
To go from free to play to $40?
Let me double check the early access prices. Because
oh wait, so if you paid for early access, does that come out of the base?
So if you've paid for early access, you have the game now. So okay. you don't have to buy the game again. And they've also said, as a thank you to our early access players, all unique cosmetic items included in the upcoming gold edition will be given free of charge to any player who purchases and claims a Founders Pack in-game or on or before December the 4th, no matter the tier.
Okay, that's nice. Because
not only that, but all founders will also receive 2,500 moonstones to celebrate this. That's their in-game currency that you can purchase.
Like that's nice.
So let me just double check the prices for... Yes, so here we are. So there's 3 different versions you can buy in early access.
Oh my god.
There is
how many tiers?
Well, this is the thing. This is where it's wild. So there's the standard Founders Edition, which is the early access to Dreamlight Valley plus 8,000 moonstones plus a bunch of exclusive stuff. And that is $30. So $10 cheaper than the final price. And then there's the Deluxe Founders Rewards, which gives you 14,500 moonstones. I don't know why they insist on always, like, it's not 15. Why not 15? It's weird. And a bunch of more exclusive items. And that one, I don't have a price for, but I think it might have been, it was either 50 or 60.
Well, that's 50 on here?
Yeah.
On the regular one?
I think it's... it's 50. And then there's the Ultimate Founders Edition, which gives you 20,000 moonstones and a bunch of extra cosmetic things. And that one was $70.
Okay, I think that makes sense because the gold edition for the standard game is also $70.
So there are like 7 different ways to buy this game.
Oh my god.
All with different things.
And then the DLC is $30.
Yes, which is only included in the gold edition, not, as far as I can tell, any of the early access editions. So if you have early access, you still have to pay for the expansion pack.
I have some things I'd like to say, and I'm going to maybe keep them to myself.
So I will say, you do get a capybara companion.
It is very cute. It's very cute. It has a flower crown.
A flowery capybara companion.
I mean, you can't go wrong with the capybara.
True that.
Listen, the game looks so cute. I think that's why this is kind of so disappointing.
Yes. Yeah. It is. So I think it is a good game. And if you said to me, this game is $40, I'd say, I think that's good. Right? I think that's a good price for this game.
Yeah.
the frustration is that it has now been nearly a year and a half since they first released this game, and they said when this is going to be free to play.
Exactly. They made
Why
the
did
promise.
they say that?
Yeah.
Why did they even say that?
And that's so frustrating because that's that's what they've been writing on since they announced this. Like, why? And then to announce the changes a month before.
I know. It's
and then
so...
also, like, so if you buy the Cozy Edition, besides, like, the flowery capybara and the expansion pack, like, is there anything else you're missing? Like, are you limited from gameplay?
No, you're not.
Okay.
You're not. So the only gameplay, so everything that's exclusive outside of the expansion pass, everything that's exclusive is just cosmetics.
Okay. That's a little bit better, but
if you buy
it's giving me Sims.
It is, isn't it? It's not quite that bad yet.
No,
but it definitely feels like that's where they're going. Yes.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, right? See, if you buy the base game and you buy the expansion pass, that's 1 cent cheaper than buying the gold edition, which gives you the base game and the expansion pass.
Yeah. But no capybara.
It also gives you it does give you the capybara. So is the capybara worth 1 cent? That's the question. It just seems like, why is the gold edition the same price? As it seems weird to me.
It does. Like, also, like, okay, so if you do really want to play this game, why would you buy the base edition and the expansion pack instead of just buying the gold edition?
Yeah, well, yeah. So yeah,
again, this is just such a headache to look at.
7 different ways to buy this game. You either buy it in one of the 3 early access ways of buying it, or you buy it in one of the 3 non-early access ways to buy it if you wait till the 5th of December, and then you either buy the expansion pass or not. We don't know what's in the expansion pass exactly. They'll be telling us that on Wednesday today if you're listening on the day this comes out. There are some hints. We've seen Gaston and is that Rapunzel? I think it's Rapunzel.
Oh yes, that's Rapunzel in the back.
Who's the little robot?
Eve.
Oh, was that from WALL-E?
Eve. Yeah, from WALL-E.
Okay, I still haven't seen WALL-E.
What?
I know. So I went through a period of time of just not watching Disney Pixar stuff.
I mean, I've never seen Tangled, so whatever. But WALL-E's so Tangled. Good.
I haven't. I think there's like 4 Pixar films that I haven't seen, just because there was a period of time where I didn't watch them, and I've watched a few of them since, but I've not. I haven't caught up on all of them. I just watched what's it called, Elemental today.
How is that? I get clips on TikTok, and it seems pretty cute.
I enjoyed it. Yeah, it's better than the trailer that made me think it was going to be.
I feel like the trailer kind of made it seem like it was going to be like a knockoff. What am I? I'm blanking on it.
Are you thinking Romeo and Juliet?
No. I can't think right now. I don't know. It just felt very familiar, I guess.
Yeah, it is. There's nothing particular about it that's interesting or new, but I think it does a good job of being a fun and enjoyable and emotional way of exploring immigration and an immigrant's family's journey and some of those struggles. I think it does a good job of that.
That's like kind of like, again, I watched a lot of clips on TikTok. I get so sucked into the movie clips on TikTok.
Fair.
But I think that's exactly the vibe I got too. I was like very surprised. I feel like with the difference between the trailer and how the actual movie seemed to be.
I don't know what that trailer was about, because like the trailer came out and everyone went, "This looks terrible. What are you doing?" And then the film came out and people were like, "It's good, it's enjoyable."
Yeah, I feel like every review I've seen of it, people like really liked it, like they enjoyed it. So
yeah, I'm not going to say it's the best Pixar film, but it's certainly not the worst. It's good. I enjoyed it. So that's we've seen Gaston and Rapunzel and would you say Eve? Eve was your name?
Eve, yeah. I think that Evie, something like that. Not Evie, but it's like that, yeah.
And there's a snake and a pig. So we don't know a huge amount. We'll see.
Is that the Jungle Book?
It's I don't
No, that's not the snake from the Jungle Book. Oh, there's a creature in the tree too. That is the Jungle Book.
Oh, maybe it is. Yeah.
Look at the monkey in the tree. I'm pretty sure that's the Jungle Book.
Anyway, we'll no more. It's interesting that this is their first paid DLC, so they are locking content behind another paywall,
which I think is
what it is. I'm not saying that's necessarily a bad thing. I'm just saying it is what it is. So don't expect to pay, the base price of the game and get all of the updates for free forever. That's not going to happen. It's not Stardew Valley.
I just think it's a little wild to go from free to play to the base game is free and then the DLC is also the same price as like a game.
Well, that's the thing. Like, if you want to now play everything that's currently that will be available on the 5th of December, you're going to have to. It's gone from $0 to $70.
Yes.
And there are going to be other, like, sure, they say there's going to be more free content updates, but there's going to be more paid DLC as well.
Oh, and like you said, there's transactions in the game probably too, right?
Yep.
Do you have early access or no?
So I never outright bought it, although I will now be buying it because I was waiting for it to be free before I bought it. I got it on Switch. But I did have it on Game Pass for a while,
okay.
and I was playing it on that. But now, and I was like, I don't. What the thing that I'm frustrated with free to play is not that I have to pay for the game. I'm fine with paying for the game.
Yeah.
What I'm frustrated is I now have to decide what I'm playing it on.
Yes.
Whereas free to play would mean I could have it on everything and choose depending on how I'm feeling on the day or how they play on different platforms. Whereas now I need to go, oh no, I need to decide, do I want it on Switch or do I want it on Steam Deck? Mm-hmm. I think I'm going to go Switch.
That's fair. I think it's just, I'm mostly annoyed about being told the whole time that it's going to be free to play.
Bizarre.
And then
Never make
getting
these
the rug
decisions
pulled out from under you a month before.
Wild. Never say, oh, next year when releases go, just don't do it.
It's a big promise to make.
It is. I mean, it doesn't feel like it should be that big a promise.
No,
one of the biggest companies in the world.
I think that's another point that I was trying not to bring up is like come on, of all people, do you really need to be charging this much?
Yeah, what I suspect is they didn't expect it to be as popular as it has been and people to like it as much. Like, this is a good game, right? This isn't one of these like, oh, they've just thrown some money at someone and got a really rubbish game based on a film, right? Mm-hmm. This is a really good game, and if you like Disney characters, this is a great game to play because there's so much lore and you get to like be friends with the characters that you like in the games. It's really good fun. The farming is good. It's not the best, but it's good. It's a good game. That's part of the problem. Is I think they were probably expecting it to be a standard free-to-play game. The people who made those decisions, right, were expecting it to be like, oh, this isn't a game we're going to manage to convince people to pay for. Oh wait, no, people like the game. Oh well, we're gonna charge people then.
And like, I think back to your point, like, obviously I grew up on Disney, whatever. I'm not the biggest Disney person. I still wanted to play the game.
Yeah.
Like, it looked like a good game.
It is. It is a good farming game. It is a good cottagecore game.
But I think now, like, someone like me, I'm not going to play this game, to be quite honest.
Yeah. Because
I'm not going to pay, whatever, $40 at the minimum. I mean, to be honest, I'm mostly playing indie games. So, like, me paying $40 is like, I really wanted to play this game.
Yes, it's cheap compared to some games. But...
Yes. But by my standards, that's a AAA game.
You could buy Stardew 4 times for that.
Literally. Literally.
You could buy Stardew on all your consoles if you wanted.
Yep.
And you probably already have. Yeah, anyway. Last couple of things. The Cozy Edition, as we mentioned, that's the physical edition. I do not know why they're calling it this. It is a stupid name, but whatever. It has been delayed until the 10th of November, except the Switch version in North America. All the other versions have been delayed.
How lucky.
It's such a weird, like, I mean, first of all, who's buying this game physically? That is a weird decision to make. I could
see if it was released closer to Christmas or something. Like, does anything come with
I guess
it?
That's a good point. You do get a few cosmetics extra with it, but that's
No,
all.
I mean, like, physical.
Oh, no.
No, then no.
No, it's just a case with the game.
Oh, not even, no.
And a code that gives you some extra cosmetics, that's it. I think, yeah, you're probably right though. That's exactly it. It's because people will buy a game for people physically, right?
Yeah.
That's why they always do that, because then your grandmother can walk into a shop and buy a game for you.
Your grandma
can they buy like Disney.
Exactly. Oh, Disney characters? This is perfect.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is, isn't it?
Yep.
Don't buy this game physically. It's a weird decision to make. I mean, do what you want. I'm not... Anyway. And I guess the final point to say is that Micah has finally been vindicated, because he bought the game not knowing it was going to be free to play.
Oh, really?
And turns out it's not going to be free to play, so he gets the last laugh, I think. Yeah, he didn't. It was really funny because I can't remember when it was, but the first episode that I had him on after the game came out, we were talking about how he was playing it and then how he bought it. And then I'd mentioned that it was going to be free to play, and he was like, wait, what? It was very funny. I think he bought the Ultimate Founders Edition as well, so that's like, he paid the $70.
It seems like he was going to pay the money no matter what. So.
Well, yeah, that's true.
I feel like in that instance, it doesn't matter if it was free to play or not.
That's true. I think that's everything about that. Wow, we just spent 15 minutes talking about that. Cool. So there you go. 5th of December. That's the important thing. If you want any of the special stuff that comes with only early access, go get that as soon as you can. If you don't, then don't. If you're not going to buy this game, I'm sorry. There we go. Speaking of games coming out with less controversy, Spirit Tea. So this is the farming game / Spirited Away type game where you are running a tea.
It's like a tea house, bath shop.
Yeah. Yes.
It looks so cute. I want to get this. I'm definitely getting.
Yeah, I kickstarted it when it came out because in fact I actually have access to the game already. Oh. I know, right? So yeah, I kickstarted the game. Looking forward to playing it. It is finally releasing on the 13th of November. So if you have been looking forward to running your own little tea house, tea shop, whatever you want to call it, with a bathhouse and play with some spirits, I don't know the right words to use for this game yet. Go get it. It's mostly one guy who's been developing it for a bunch of years. He's working with a publisher, but yeah, if you like games that are as indie as they come, go get it.
Yeah, it looks looks like a nice little spin on the farming game.
Yeah, it's not just your standard go plant some turnips and then you get better crops.
Yeah.
Lens Island have updated their roadmap, so they have said that their 1.0 is coming out in July 2024. I think this is the first official date we got from them. We had got some... They'd originally wanted to release it this year, and then at some point they'd said it'll be next year, and now they've said July. So,
that's nice to get a solid time, actually.
It's dangerous, but yeah, nice.
It always is. You're talking to the person waiting for Silk Song here. I know.
So I look forward to Lens Island coming out in November of next year. They've also said there are going to be two more updates this year. One in November, which, oh look, it's November now, and one in December. And then there'll be a final major update before the final release in March of next year. And then the final release in July of next year. So if you are waiting for that 1.0 release of Lens Island, that's when you're going for. I actually own this game as well, and I haven't played it. So it's quite combat focused, this game.
Okay.
And when I first got it when it first entered early access, because I kickstarted it. I need to stop kickstarting things. I kickstart all the farming games. It's a sickness, Kelly.
You just want to be hip and say, I was here first.
Yeah, I know, right? They didn't have controller support at that point.
Oh,
and of course
no.
I was playing it on my Steam Deck, so it was not fun to play with. So I spent like 5 minutes and went, nope, not doing this. I'm waiting for controller support.
How does that work then? How
the Steam Deck you can map any button or any touchpad or anything to any standard PC controls.
Oh.
So you can say, if I press this button, I've pressed this keyboard button, or I press this mouse button, or I do this gesture, or there's loads of clever things you can do. And it works really well for a lot of things, but it wasn't working for this. So I was like, I need to wait for official controller support for this one. So that's what I did, and I just haven't played it yet.
I do think it's funny that the release date on Steam is November 26, 2021.
Why is that date funny?
Because it's 2023.
Okay. Well, that was the early access.
I know. But I'm just saying, it's funny to like sit here and look at the news about, it getting released next year.
Yes. Moonstone Island I think you and Kevin talked about the DLC for that last week. They've announced that there is a free update coming with the DLC as well.
That's nice.
It should be out now. So it includes an expansion to the greenhouse, closing old mine holes. I don't know what that means.
Okay. I'm assuming monsters come out of the mine holes, maybe?
Who knows?
I don't know.
I mean, it's a creature collection
from
game.
Falling down the mines. Close your mines.
Yeah, we don't want that. Inventory management improvements and adjustable day length are the big things that they were highlighting. The patch notes are much more detailed. I'm not going through them. There's a lot of stuff. I'll link it in the show notes. Go look at that if you care about it.
Yeah, this is the one. It had a ton of updates last week too, or 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I think most of it was like bug fixing and stuff. This is the first kind of like content update, I think.
Okay,
content
that makes
and
sense.
feature update.
But it seems like they're really working to, update any of these little issues.
Yes, they are. This is one of those ones that I probably do want to play at some point.
It looks really cute too. It really does. It does. I would like to play this.
It's also creature collection, and I'm a sucker for creature collection.
I mean, me too. I'm a sucker for collection in general.
Well, yes, that too. Yep. Stardew Valley, Concerned Ape is continuing to just trickle things out.
Yeah,
I know.
It's like it's making me so annoyed because I'm like, I don't want to play Stardew. I always do.
You do though. You do. You don't lie. You want to play.
I'm actively spending my life fighting the urge to play Stardew Valley.
What I love is like some of them are like, here's the most tiny little thing, like this one, which is just a screenshot of wild horseradish juice.
Yeah.
And my reaction was, oh, is that not already in the game? Okay.
I literally, when I looked at it, I was like, oh yeah, you can't do anything with horseradish, can you?
So some of them are like this tiny thing where it's just like, oh yeah, the update's going to have it's going to have horseradish juice. And you're like, okay. And then there was the one a few weeks ago, which was like, here's just like detailed 10 bullet points of what's coming in the update. And you're like, oh, okay.
Yep. Listen, I would take anything. I take every single one of these. I'm like, cool. Awesome. Yeah. Great. But yeah, no, I saw this one and I was like, oh, another thing for me to micromanage.
Kelly, did you ever play any of the 1.5 update stuff? So that's Ginger Island and stuff like that.
Yes. So Stardew was actually my first Switch game.
I mean, I think it was for a lot of people.
Yes.
It came out nice and early in 2017.
But I got my Switch a year later. So I was a year behind everybody. Yeah.
That's all right. So were the updates.
Yes. And then I played it 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Yes. So Ginger Island had come out, which was fun because that wasn't in my initial playthrough.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was really fun to like go out, because when it first happened, I was like, "Wait, what is what is this? Where am I? Where am I going? Yeah. Who are these people?" So that was really fun because I feel like that really opened up a whole new part of the game.
Yeah. Yeah.
And extended it nicely.
That's what he's doing, right? Like, just keep playing this game, please. Here's more stuff.
But I mean, he does it in such a good way. Like,
I know.
People would play this game even if he didn't go out there and release, updates to it. People would be replaying it constantly anyway.
And people would pay for the updates, and he just gives them out for free.
Yep. What a good guy.
I mean, he is a millionaire, so
yes.
Like, it's easier to be a good guy when you're a millionaire.
Yes, but it is. We might have talked about a game a few minutes ago.
Absolutely. No, I don't. Yep. I don't. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm not trying to take it away from him. You're absolutely right.
No, but I fully agree with your point. It's like.
I haven't played the 1.5 stuff with Ginger Island and stuff like that.
Oh, really? Okay.
So I need to, it's on my list of like, I really need to do this. So I'm trying to decide, maybe I just wait for 1.6 to come out and do it all at the same time.
That might be the best, because especially it seems like he is adding quite a few things.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Why not
I'm going to
wait?
have to cover that.
I will say there is one thing in Ginger Island. There's like one thing that you really have to like hope for the luck of finding.
Oh no.
So that can be a little frustrating, but I think if you I think the issue is more so when you don't leave enough stuff to do at home too. And you kind of save Ginger Island for the very end, and then you're like,
right.
Where is this thing? Come on, show me your... Like, because it's like one of those things where you can only collect a few things a day of it.
And then I need to make the decision of, do I do a new save or do I continue my existing save?
Oh, I always do a new save. I know I should probably go back, but I love a restart. Like, I've got like 5 different Rim worlds because I just like... Could I go back and keep playing them? Sure.
So mostly I have like one that I have done most of the things in, and then I have like a bunch of others that are like random challenges and a random multiplayer one and all these different things. So I'll probably continue the one that I have. See, I'm the opposite. I'm like, I really should do a new one and see how it changes things, because obviously you don't experience... I need to do both, realistically. It's like... Right? Because it changes things.
You get to see how you strategize and how you handle things differently, and like, you know, going back in with like new knowledge and like all that stuff.
Yep.
Like the one I did 2 years ago, I have notes. I take notes when I play this game.
Of course you do.
So I have like field guides on like, you know, the best things to do with this in each season and what you should pickle and what you should keg and like...
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. Like what fish or
see, I don't pickle and keg because I just can't be bothered. I just go, what is the most expensive crop? Like for selling. And I just go with that. Like I'm just like, I do like mayo and cheese and stuff like that. But I'm like, I can't be bothered with like putting my crops in these other things and waiting. No, I just sell.
No.
I know you can make more money, but I don't want to do that.
I love a good micromanage. It's not even about the money. Because at a certain point, I don't need more money.
That's true.
It's literally just about me having tasks to do.
Fair enough.
But yeah, no, I'm like, at certain points I was like, okay, so if I place this many kegs in the basement.
Yeah.
Can I still access them if I walk around this way?
Yes, what's the optimum strategy? I think the problem is that they figured it out. There is a right answer to that in everything. Which
I don't want to sound like I'm one of those people who are doing things to the T perfect, like gotta have every second count. Like I definitely do things in my own little stupid way. But there are certain things that I try to make sure I'm doing them correctly, quote unquote correctly, so that I can get money and stuff from them, especially early game. Once you get to a certain point, it's like, oh my god, do I need money?
Yeah. I also quite like trying different things. So there was one quite early on with the podcast where me and Rochelle were trying to see how much money we could make just from mining.
That's a fun challenge. I think those are like fun ways to like...
It was good fun.
How can I do this? How can I do this differently?
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, you can actually make a lot of money that way.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just fun to try the different ways of doing that, because you can make money in lots of different ways in the game. And that's why I like it so much.
I do this in every like game essentially, but I love fishing for money. So I'm always like a sucker for that. But I feel like my last one I tried to like avoid that more so. But
fair enough.
It's always fun to just try different ways, do different things.
I also saw someone do a challenge which was like, you can't leave the farm, and that was quite interesting. So they didn't get a lot of seeds is part of the point, right? So obviously you get them from foraging. You can get seeds just from foraging. But yeah, a lot of it was just having to like sell the things you find around the farm. They used the Four Corners farm.
No.
They used the Four Corners farm, so they obviously you get a little bit of everything.
Okay.
But yeah, it was quite.
But like no interactions with people unless they like literally come to visit you.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
But I feel like, that's like nuzlocking yourself into Stardew. It's fun.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Lots of different ways to do it. So, yeah,
Stardew,
wild horseradish juice. I will
will
probably
say,
never make it.
who is drinking this? I love horseradish. I love spiciness. I love Bloody Marys. I love burning my sinuses. I would
But just
never.
pure horseradish juice.
Listen, there's been times in my life where my sinuses have been really bad, and somebody was like, "Hey, if you put apple cider vinegar up your nose, it'll help." And I've done that. This sounds wild. I would never do this.
Its description is a sweet, nutritious beverage.
I've never heard of horseradish as being described as sweet.
I think there's lots of sugar in that.
Yeah. It has to be like really pickled or whatever.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
The final news is we have a new game announced. We don't have a lot about it. It's called Echoes of the Plum Grove, and it is coming to Kickstarter soon. And its little tagline is build a thriving community across generations in this cozy historical farm simulator.
I think that's pretty cute. Like, that's a different idea, because I feel like, in a lot of these you can have a kid or something or a family, but it doesn't really go anywhere.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like this is very much so not how I play The Sims, but how a lot of people play The Sims. Where they'll make generational things and like the generations start to interact with each other, and it's like really interesting. It's a very long-term way of doing it.
Yeah. A few games have kind of done a little bit of this. Like, I think the new Harvest Moon does it, where you can like grow. I mean, you still stay as your same character though. But there was what was the A Wonderful Life did this as well, didn't it? You can play as your child.
That's cool.
At a certain point, I think. So yeah. There is apparently a lot more information on Steam that I didn't notice until now.
I did have to go open the Steam page because the Kickstarter basically had nothing on it.
Yes. Well, that's the thing. That's why I didn't think we had a huge amount, but it is apparently on Steam. The page is up on Steam. And it says it's coming out in 2024, but I suspect that's the early access.
I would also. I like its little cute, like, cardboard cutout-y style.
Yes, it's very Paper Mario-esque.
Yes.
Which is, I mean, it's a nice art style. I like it. A new life awaits in Honeywood. Build a thriving community that will last generations in this cozy farm simulator. Farm, socialize, make friends, cook, craft, forage, and uncover the secrets of the island. Why is there always a secret? Why are there always secrets, Kelly?
Al, one of my first video games that I ever played was Dinotopia. Do you know what happens in Dinotopia?
No.
You wash up with no memory on an island.
Standard.
And I think I've been chasing that ever since. And then you talk to dinosaurs.
But it's just like, there's so many farming games now have to have a dark secret behind them. If someone doesn't want to be friends, there are always other means. Why does that sound a little bit,
That sounds... What do you mean means? What are the means? Am I locking them in a basement until they decide that it's okay to be my friend?
That's the family-friendly way that we're going to mention it on the podcast, yep.
Yeah, okay. That sounds fair.
So I think it means killing people, because there's a bit later on that says make friends or enemies, and it's a scene of a funeral. So I think that's what they mean. I don't think they mean like... other things.
I didn't read what it said on the funeral picture, and I just thought, oh, that's the generational thing. Your family member died. That's twisted.
Make enemies.
This game looks so cute, and then they have that.
Yeah, every other picture is of them like smiling, and then this is like,
and the art style looks so cute.
Everyone is like really sad except one person. There's one person smiling. Why are they smiling?
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, there we go. We'll keep an eye on it, see how it goes.
Wait, it says work together with your fellow townsfolk to forge an even greater community, or just get them out of your way with harsh words and drastic measures. What are the drastic measures?
I think murdering them. I think you can murder people in this game.
That is really unexpected.
Yep. I'm up for it though.
I think that kind of hooked me more than anything.
That has immediately
I'm so intrigued.
Made me decide I'm kickstarting this.
Yeah.
After just saying I need to stop, I'm obviously going to kickstarter this.
What are Al's qualifications for kickstartering a game? Oh, I can murder someone.
Look, right. I like when things do things differently.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm still waiting for that farming game that lets me break couples up.
Oh. How does that not exist yet?
I don't know.
You know what it is? I think I always think of The Sims. Because, again, not to mention The Sims like 10,000 times, but man, that was so much fun just to like mess with people's relationships. And then you get into fights in public.
Thank you for backing me up in this. Everybody else, when I bring this up, thinks I'm a maniac for wanting to do this.
Where's the fun in life? Like,
What is a life sim? What is a life sim if you can't, be a homewrecker?
Exactly. Like, I mean, do I feel bad sometimes if I, like, romance a person who's clearly meant to be with somebody else? Like, the standard, like, oh, they have a partner if you didn't romance them kind of thing? Sure. Does it stop me from romancing them? No.
I want, instead of like every farm game has to have romance options, right? What I want is a romance focused farm sim where not only can you, basically get into a relationship with anyone and you can break up relationships, but I also want there to be rivals and I have to work hard to create relationships ahead of other people, right? So it's like a rush, like, oh, if I don't go quick, they're gonna end up with them and I gotta go.
Yeah.
And then if you are too slow and they do, then you just gotta work your way breaking them up.
Just weasel your way in there. Exactly. Drive that wedge between them.
Thank you. Thank you, Kelly.
Listen, as much as I said, was it in this one or I think it was the Greenhouse, actually. I said I'm not a big fan of relationships.
Yeah.
In every game, like romancing. Mm-hmm. I think that's a fun little twist on it. Like,
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I think it's like, I think part of the problem is a lot of games think, here are the things we need to put in this farming game. Mm-hmm. And one of them is romance. And no, you don't need to do it.
Yes.
If you have an interesting thing to do with it, then absolutely do it. If you think you can make it good, then absolutely do it. But if you just feel, I have to do this because this is what farming games have, they don't. You don't need to, right? Like, it doesn't need to be Stardew Plus.
Yeah.
It can be Stardew Minus and Plus, or it can just be a different thing entirely, right?
Exactly.
Like, don't feel like you need to do everything and then some more.
I will say, though, I do think Stardew does kind of add something nice to it where you can romance so many people and then they kind of find out.
Yeah, I agree. I think Stardew did it well, but
yes.
Stardew focuses on characters.
Yes, and I mean also in Stardew you can not romance but live with what's his face, the sewer man. I love him.
Oh yeah, Kronos.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is like also another fun thing. It's like a romance that's not a romance.
Was Stardew the first same-sex farming game?
I think so.
I love how they didn't. Like,
because I remember it being
was not
a big
not
deal.
only was it oh yeah, you can marry anyone regardless of their gender. You can also marry whatever Kronos is, like
whatever your sexuality is.
Yeah. Men, women,
monsters?
Sewer monster. Yeah. Love it.
But
Great.
yeah, I remember it being like a thing that like, oh cool, you can marry anybody in Stardew. And I think after that, other games kind of started to follow suit.
I thought that was the case. I just wanted to, I mean, some of them have taken
I could be
longer
wrong.
than others.
Yes. I'm sure there was something
Japanese
that came
games.
out. Oh yeah, but I'm sure there's something that came out before Stardew, but I think Stardew really...
It was the first big one.
Yes.
Certainly. Yeah. That's what I thought, but I wasn't... Like, I mean, Stardew was my first farming game, so I hadn't gotten into it by then. And it took me until 2017 to get into it, because I had a Switch, and there was a game, so I played the game that was there.
Same. Like, I definitely played some little farming games before that, but I would say that was definitely my biggest one.
Right, okay. It was actually funny with the Switch. 2017 was a wild time with the Switch, right? Because it was like, I knew the Switch was going to be great, right? And as soon as they announced it, I was like, I am buying that. Mm-hmm. But then I bought it and I didn't have any games because like I'd pre-ordered Mario Kart, but that didn't come out for 3 months. And I'd pre-ordered 1-2 and that didn't come out for 3 months. So I was like, I have no games for this console for 3 months. So I was like wondering, I wandered into a game store and went, let me try that Zelda game that everyone's talking about. And they were like, we have one copy. And they handed over the one copy left. And then I was like, this is a good game. But it was just like, I just didn't have any games for, you know. So I bought a console without any games. Weird.
My sister got it on launch for Zelda.
Yeah.
So...
That makes sense. Buying a console on launch for a game that comes out on launch, that makes sense. Buying a console because you think the console is going to be good and not buying any games for it, that's weird.
To be fair, I did buy it a year after you, like I said. However, I got it for my birthday. Some of my friends chipped in and got me one. Or like we all joined together or whatever. And they were like, "Oh, do you want a game?" And I said no. So I also bought I bought the console gameless, and then I said, what? I'm gonna play Kirby, and then I said, no, I'm not. And I bought like 5 indie games instead.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, well, that's
news.
A lot. That was a lot of news. That turned out being more than I expected. Let's talk about Pumpkin Panic. So, I want to start off by saying, Kelly, I didn't realize that this was a roguelike game.
I didn't want to tell you.
I didn't know what it was until my first death. And I went, oh no, it's a roguelike.
Did I withhold information? Maybe. Did I think you would eventually see it and find out? Yeah, sure. It wasn't like, oh, Al will never figure this out.
Well, no, of course I was going to figure it out, right? Because you start the game and the crow's like, oh, hey, come do some farming. And then it's like, oh, what's that noise? You better run. And you're like... God. Oh, what do you mean you better run? What does that mean? And then the skinwalker comes and kills you. And you're like, what just happened? I wasn't expecting that.
I think they named this game so appropriately. Because the entire time I played it, I was holding my breath, so tense, just on edge the entire time. I think my ears were working at like 300%, trying to hear everything.
Oh my word, it's ridiculous. So right, okay, let's wait.
But
right,
yes,
let's slow down. Let's slow down.
But yes, I intentionally did not tell you that it was a roguelite. Or roguelike. I'm sorry. This is a roguelike.
Yes, this is a like, not a light. Like, which I hate the way those words are, because light makes it sound like it's less, but it's actually more fun.
Yes,
anyway, doesn't matter.
That's half the issue.
It's less roguelike, I guess, is why it's light. Because it's light on the roguelike element. Anyway, whatever. Stupid. So, let's summarize this game. So, it's a farming game. Like, it's the most farming a farming game can be.
It is
right?
So straightforwardly farming game.
That is the mechanic, right?
Yes.
That is the thing you do.
The entire base of the game is you have to farm.
There are 2 things you do. You farm and you run.
Well, yes. You try to survive.
You gotta run. So you start off, you get woken up by this crow who says, like, why are you sleeping? Come farm. And so you go out and you farm. And so I love to talk about tutorials. It starts
off so innocently, too. And
it does.
So calm.
I love talking about tutorials. I think tutorial for this is great. I think it's really good.
It's so simple. It goes
doesn't
straight
get
to
in
the
your
point.
way.
Yes. You can do stuff while they're telling you.
Absolutely. And you just do it, and it's great. It's a fantastic tutorial. Now, obviously, there aren't a huge number of mechanics, so they didn't need to think too hard about it, but it's really good. I really like this. Good inspiration for
listen, I love a solid tutorial. I think they did, like you said, such a good job of fitting this tutorial so perfectly with the rest of the game.
Yeah. The worst thing with the tutorial is when it interrupts your gameplay. Like, yes. I want to play the game, I don't want to read. Yes. And so the fact that you, as you say, can do it while they're talking to you, it's not like, here's your description, press A to continue and then actually do the thing. No, There's none of that. It's like, hey, this is what you do. And you're like, oh, okay, I'm doing it. Great, fun.
Actually started planting stuff before the bird even told me how to plant stuff. And then I walked down the screen to get water and he was like, hey, if you want to plant stuff, this is what you do.
Yeah. So it's a farming game. You wake up, you're told by the crow to farm, you start farming, and then it turns out it's a horrifying hellscape of monsters that are just there to destroy your life.
It is. They really did such a good job with the horror of it. I really think. Like, such a simple way.
It is terrifying.
You are on
multiple
edge.
Aspects. because
the entire time.
So one of the things they do is the sound is incredible. So you have to have the sound on.
Yes.
You cannot play this game without the sound.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you could try. But the clown will get you. The clown will get you.
Yeah, there's no way you can do the clown without sound.
But no, I tried to play without headphones on at one point, and I was like, literally, I felt like my ears were like satellites. Like I was trying to strain them to hear the sounds perfectly.
Yep.
And I was like, I had to put headphones in.
Yep. So yeah, you start off, the crow goes, "Oh, what's that sound? I'm going, you better run."
That moment, my blood like turned to ice. I was like, I gotta run. I know what's going on in this game. I gotta run.
Yeah, what am I running from?
Yeah.
And so you run, and then you get into your house, and then the skinwalker comes by and doesn't come into your house, and you're like, oh, that was terrifying.
Yeah.
So they've got like a violin track that plays when the skinwalker's around, and then it like screeches when the skinwalker goes away. Great, fine. The problem then is you're like, oh, this is my wee house, so I'm just going to hang around in my house for a while. No, a demon child is coming out of your bed to kill you if you stay in there too long.
Which, as much as I don't want a demon child in my house and I wanted the safety of a home, I will say I think they did such a good job with that mechanic of making sure that you just don't sit in your house and squat there.
Yeah.
Listen,
I mean,
as much as I wanted it to not be there, I did not want that demon in my home.
It's the only way what they wanted to do could work.
Yes.
Because otherwise other than the fact that clowns can enter your house, which was a horrifying realization the first time that happened.
I screamed in real life. I did not know that the clown could come in, and I thought I was safe because the first time I played, I didn't have headphones in, so I'm trying to hear the clown sound, and I'm trying to find the clown, and I can't find the clown, and then the freaking skinwalker's chasing me around or something, and I was like, I don't know, I heard violins again, and I was like, get in the house. And then I go in my house, and then all of a sudden, I go back outside, and the clown's chasing me, and I go into the house, and the clown's in the house with me.
The clown is so fast and terrifying.
So fast.
It's just like, oh my word. So, it is doing exactly what it wants to do, and it's doing it so well. This is a terrifying game.
It's such a good, simple horror game.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like so straight to the point. They got the mechanics down perfect. It's frustrating in the right ways and terrifying. Like there were so many moments where I ran back into the house when nothing was actually outside because I thought I heard something.
Yeah, I think what's impressive as well is like it's terrifying in the same way, but multiple ways in different times. And okay, so like I talk in the Greenhouse episode that we've already recorded that's coming out on Saturday. I talk in that about how I hate roguelikes and roguelites. I think this might actually be my exception.
This was good.
I think this is done so incredibly well. I'm not saying I'm going to continue playing the game. Like, let's not go that far.
Listen, it's still frustrating when you have to start completely over.
Yes.
Especially when you start to like get a good feel for the game and you get further and you're like, oh my god, I was so close.
But what it does really well is after the first 5 or 6 times, after those ones, you feel like every time you fail, it is entirely your fault.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
You missed the thing. You didn't do something quick enough. You didn't get back to the house. You didn't find the clown.
Yes, exactly. Like, it's not the game's fault you're dying, it's your own incompetency. Absolutely.
And also, it's not like one mistake and you're dead, right? For most things you can oh no, I missed that the skinwalker's here. If you've got things right, you can evade it if you need to. If you stay in the house too long, you're not immediately dead. You can escape the house. The clown might be an exception. If you can't get to the clown, the red clown in time, then you're stuffed. But other than that, like most things you can recover from.
Yeah, because the clown is inevitable and unavoidable if you don't get the balloon.
Which when you talk about like Hades, we were talking about in the Greenhouse episode, like if you make a mistake, you're probably dead, right? Like you have to do things pretty much perfectly. I like how you've got a good chance to recover in this one once you know what's happening.
Especially that damn deer. That deer is both so avoidable and so annoying. And terrifying. It scared the crap out of me in the dark so many times.
I mean, everything's terrifying. That's the thing. Like because I think every monster is when you encounter them for the first time is fresh and oh no, what fresh hell is this? Right? Like, oh no, another thing I need to figure out.
But then once you start to figure out how their mechanics work, like you said, there are so many ways that you can be smart about it and you can work to avoid it. Like, they do show up in a very timed fashion.
Yes.
So there is a routine about them.
The clown's still terrifying no matter what.
I do not like clowns in general.
Especially if you're like, I don't know, I've not figured out this yet, but like your light seems to be able to like run out of light.
Yes, you have to buy more.
Oh, you can buy it. Oh, I missed that.
Yes, you could buy lamp
the first time I had a night, I had already run out of lamp fuel.
Oh my god!
And so I was like, I don't know how to do this. Yeah. What do I do? Because you literally see nothing except if your house is in view, you can see that. But then like you can't see like the fences that are in your way. And it's just, and then you're like, I need to find this clown, and I don't know how to find this clown when I can't see fences. And I thought the
skinwalker was gonna get me. I didn't know what creatures were out in the nighttime at that point.
What can see me in the dark, and I need to find, and I've got a timer on me now because I need to find this clown to get the balloon to give to the other clown.
And then
why are these clowns? Are these clowns working together? Are they friends? What's happening here?
I don't know. I don't know. They're mean. I think the first clown is mean and it steals the balloon from the second clown.
Oh, or but then the second clown blames you?
Maybe. It's some kind of loop where it's like one clown has the balloon, you got to give the balloon to the other clown, and then the other clown is sad because it doesn't have the balloon anymore. And just get two balloons.
So what you're saying is like, after you've given the balloon to the blue clown, it becomes the red clown, and the red clown becomes the blue clown.
That's how I envision it in my head.
It's based on their emotions.
That's how I envision it in my head. Like the Mardi Gras masks. I know I'm saying this to you as an American, but have you ever seen the Mardi Gras masks that are like comedy and tragedy?
Oh, right. Yeah.
So it's like that. They're probably like flipping each other around.
Yeah. Their color is based on their emotions.
Yeah. But the everything in this game scared me. And I literally was yelping and like screaming and saying things to the game out loud. But those clowns scared me the most.
Yeah.
Because they're, like you said, they're unavoidable. But they also, I think they did such a good job of the different enemies that you face. Did you ever get... This only happened to me in one playthrough. A creature in the nighttime with glowing eyes.
So that's the well one. So it's in the well. So I searched for this because I was like, what in it?
That one scared me the most. I lied about the clowns. That one scared me the most.
It doesn't seem like that one can actually harm you.
No, but the dread it filled me with.
So it shows up if you hang around the well at night too long.
Because it's like the skinwalker
just eyes
with red eyes. Mm-hmm. Essentially, like it runs around like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't, like you said, it doesn't seem to come for you. But seeing that run in the background.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that and when the skinwalker would be outside the fence.
Mm.
Do you ever see that?
Yeah.
That would also freak me out because I'd be like, oh my god, it's so close.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so...
My heart raced a lot during this game.
Yes, let's calm down. Let's talk about the farming.
Oh, yes, the farming.
Right, let's ignore I mean, I know it's hard to ignore the monsters, but let's ignore the monsters for just now.
I think the farming was very nice and straight to the point. I liked the keyboard controls because you could like just plant a bunch and then hit space while you were planting them.
Mm-hmm.
So you could like pretty rapid fire water everything and plant everything.
Yeah.
Which was vital to the game also because you're trying to do things kind of as quickly as possible.
So quickly. Especially as like I agree. I think it's simple, but it's a good, simple mechanic. I think it works really well for this game. you've got like 5 different plots of land. And one of them is unlocked to start with, and each one only has one crop you can do in it. So there's like, here is the base crop one, here is the purple one. I can't even remember what they were. One's a cucumber.
I know one was a sunflower, one was an orange.
It doesn't really matter, right? Like it's like you unlock them as you go. They cost more money to unlock, therefore they're worth more, right? Like that's all you really need to care about. It doesn't matter what they are. Like once you get to a point, you're only really farming one at a time, because you don't have time to be doing the other ones, right?
Yes.
You're focusing on one plot at a land, and once you unlock the next one, that's fine.
Yeah, because just to put it out there, the whole point of this game is you are trying to get as much money as possible to fix your boat.
Yeah, and
to get out of here.
Which is fair.
Yes.
Who doesn't want to get out of there, right? There's no sleeping at this place. I
wanted to say I liked how you could only plant one thing in each plot, because there was no fumbling around with the stuff in your bag.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. So I think it is I don't think these mechanics would work in another farming game, but I think it works really well for this, because the whole point of this game is speed.
Yep.
And so they strip everything out that they don't need. Like there's no, as far as I can see, there's no fertilizer or anything like that.
No.
There is just crop and water, and that's it. And you say plant
when you water
and then
them, essentially. You're just dropping water out of the bottom of your character every time you water. There's no watering can.
It's a bucket. You have a bucket.
I never saw a bucket, Al.
You did, because you upgraded it.
Oh yes.
Like, how are you getting water out the well? Are you just sticking your head in the well and drinking from it?
I mean, it's a pumpkin. He's holding it inside his pumpkin head.
So yeah, I agree. They're very simple, but they work really well for this. It's like plant, water, plant, water, plant, water, plant, water. Quickly run to the well, get water, water, water. Because they're so fast growing as well.
They grow,
like
which
it's
is
like
so
what 10
nice.
seconds or something like that.
You can literally, if you have enough seeds, you can finish watering the last seed and go back and start watering the next round.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is so nice. But also so frustrating, because then you have to go back to the well, and if it's dark out, or the deer is by the well, or whatever is going on. But I also like...
We got back to the monsters, Kelly. Why did we do that? We're talking about farming.
So I did like, with the crops, how certain crops stayed for a few rounds.
Yes. Yeah, that's a pretty standard farming game thing. You have some of them that are like, they'll respawn.
Yeah.
Their fruit, generally, that they are.
Definitely nice, though, in this circumstance, where you're like, please just give me a crop as fast as possible. Yeah. Like, cutting out the planting alone is just, it's not a big deal to plant them, but it just saves you that extra, 10 seconds or whatever.
What I also like, as another example of just getting going, just doing stuff, is that the first crop, which I can't even remember what it is, it gives you seeds when you harvest them as well. So you harvest to get money and seed. So the first part of the game is just get those crops, get them watered, and you don't need to leave that patch for the first couple of harvests.
Yep, which is why after the first death, I think I was just the crow is I haven't even set off the crow's tutorials, and I'm already got the first row of plants done.
Yeah, it's I'm ignoring you. I've already unlocked the first field.
Yep.
Yeah, because you only really you're doing 2 harvests of that first one, and then you're going straight to unlock the first field.
Yes,
getting that purple crop.
Because the first time I was oh, okay, maybe I'll upgrade my shoes, or I'll upgrade my water. Nope. The second one I was crops. Give me the crops.
And interestingly, have you looked at any? There's speed runs for these. Have you looked at any of the speed runs?
No, I didn't know.
Fascinating to watch.
Oh, I gotta check this out now.
The world record is 12 minutes and 50 seconds.
Oh my! I died so many times about that marker.
Yeah, that's the world record for finishing, surviving the game.
Wow.
Is 12 minutes and 50 seconds. And so what they do is, they do what I just suggested, that you go and you do 2 harvests of the first one, go buy the purple. They do a whole bunch of stuff, they upgrade their watering can and their how many seeds they can carry, blah, 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 blah. But they jump straight from the second crop to the 5th crop. They don't go with the middle crops at all.
If I had enough money, I weighed that option. I really did. Because I was is it really... I feel like it would make such a big difference, and I guess it does.
Yeah, it does. So yeah, I mean, I don't think that's how people should play it their first couple of times. I think it's fun to go through it.
Enjoyable.
But that is definitely seems to be the ultimate strategy at this point. Is like, yeah, get the second field upgraded, and then get the fifth one upgraded, and then just make as much money as possible and go get that.
That makes a lot of sense.
But yeah, 12 minutes is insane for finishing this game.
That's crazy. That's so fast.
Yeah.
But to go back to time, actually, I do like that, how fast the gameplay is.
Yeah.
Because, like, you know, you're getting so many runs in within an hour.
Yeah.
And like you said, it's like, it's nice to go back to. It's not oh my God, I failed again.
Yeah, like the first few, you know, until you've seen every enemy, basically, like you're not spending more than 3 minutes on any of these runs.
No.
So like, yeah, certainly until you actually know what you're doing, your run isn't lasting longer than 10 minutes.
Yeah, because that first night, I think that clown has got me. That clown ends probably a lot of people if you don't get the balloon.
I'm pretty sure the world record only has one night that they do.
I would assume so, because I think 10 minutes gets you to the first night.
So I think through the first night.
Yes. Yeah. So that would make a lot of sense.
Wild. I'd recommend going because it's obviously it's less than 13-minute video, so it's
super fast to
really
watch.
Fun. It's fun to watch. Yeah. Okay.
Of course, as a farming game, it has fishing. Very simple fishing.
I haven't done the fishing.
Okay.
I don't have time for fishing. I'm trying to survive here.
You get money from the fish.
I don't have time to fish. I get money from the crops. Anything.
All you do is you go down there and you throw the line out, and then you go back and do your stuff. And then you come back and you get the fish later.
Oh, I missed that.
Yeah, so it's like very passive fishing.
Look at me, I'm playing the game again.
But it's just like a way to get some more money. Because you get like a few $100s, I think.
So can you do that straight away?
I think you had to upgrade it with sticks, if I remember correctly.
Where is it meant to be?
Next to the boat.
Like on the pier?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I see. Oh, yeah, sticks and
yeah, so you don't want to recycle your sticks at first, but once you upgrade...
okay.
That, you can start recycling all your sticks and garbage that the crow leaves.
Makes sense. Yes, so that's the other mini mechanic that exists in the game is the crow will be flying around grabbing some things and throwing them onto the farm for you to get, and you can recycle them for money. Basically, it's just another way to get money, and apparently also upgrade your fishing line.
Just more passive income. The worst though, so what did you have any issues with the deer? Because I feel like that deer was like...
I think it does seem to be a little bit like not ideal. Like
it definitely
kind of
follows you.
Yeah.
And it seems to know the exact worst places to put itself. Like the front of my door.
Yeah.
Every time.
Yes. Yeah, people have been saying that does happen quite a bit. So I don't know whether that's a bug or whether it's deliberate.
I think it's deliberate because it follows you to the well too a lot.
Right, okay. Yeah.
So I think it's like, you know, it's haunting you.
Yeah.
And hunting you both at the same time. And there is a way to set it off so that it goes into its second stage. Like if you're in the house, if you open the door real quick and then run back into the house, it can't get you.
Okay.
But that sets off its like, you know, murderous deer stage.
Oh no.
And then it'll go away and it'll reappear as a deer like 10 seconds later somewhere else on the map.
Okay.
But it's a good way to get it out of your front door.
Yeah.
But then also... like, there's been instances where the skinwalker's out and the deer is out, and they're both by my house, and then the candle's going out.
Yeah, it's one of these things where it's like, it is frustrating, but as we've talked about, like, because the runs are so fast, like, you know, you can just go again.
Yeah. And you can get pretty close to the deer before it sets off its second stage, but once you set off that second stage, it's fast.
Yeah.
It is very fast. That's the thing. These enemies are fast. And your sprint is not that fast. No,
you can upgrade your speed.
Yes.
But yeah, certainly the first time the skinwalker's there, if you're not in the house already, you're dead.
Yeah. Yep. Which I think I lucked out because I had seen a few TikToks on the game, which is what got me into the game in the first place. I think I saw somebody playing it and I was like, wow.
Right.
This is going to give me nightmares. I want to play it.
Yep. It is... I'm not going to play it in the dark.
No, I did play it.
He says currently playing it in the dark.
I did play it in the dark a few times, but it was early enough where I wasn't home alone.
Right, okay.
Like, my roommate wasn't asleep or anything. I think that would be a different sensation.
Yeah. Yeah, fair enough.
But cute little game, and it's free.
It is free. I threw in a couple bucks.
I was going to say, I gave him $5 because it's a cute little game and I liked it.
Yep.
But you can't beat free.
Well, if they pay you to play it.
Well, okay. That's just getting crazy.
Sorry, I should stop playing that game.
Oh, yeah, no worries. Did you yell a lot when you were playing?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Like, it's... Because it's not one of these things where it's like, oh, I just mucked up. You know, it's one of these things where it's like, oh no, these are utterly terrifying, and I literally just got mauled by a deer. Yep. You know, or like I was in my house thinking I was safe, and the clown came and destroyed me. Yep. You know, like this is definitely a terrifying, like shout out sort of thing.
And like so, I'm a big baby when it comes to horror games. I'm a baby when it comes to actually most games. My heart races. I don't like dying in games at all. My heart rate is constantly up when I play games. So a lot of the time I will watch people play horror games, but I won't actually play them myself. Like, I love watching people play those, like, analog horror games.
Yeah.
But they're not for me. I will have a heart attack. I will die. I will cease to exist.
This is about my limit, I think.
That's what I was going to say. This pushed me to my limit, but in a good way. Not in like I'm going to quit and go lay in bed for a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, this was still entertaining, and I felt like I could do it.
Yes.
I didn't feel like claustrophobic, which I feel like I get in a lot of horror games, where like I just feel like everything around me is making me panic to the point of I'm immobile. Yeah.
With this one, it's like, everything is terrifying, but there are gaps between the terrifying, and it's like, you know, you can if it's daytime and there's no music going, you're good.
And like, of course, you're on edge.
And you're out.
You're on edge, but it's like, oh, I'm not gonna. Nothing bad is happening because they do such a good job with the triggers for the enemies.
Yeah.
Or, like, not the triggers,
the cues.
Cue, thank you. Like, they really do such a good job of letting you know when the enemy's going to be there. It's just more so waiting for that cue to pop up.
Yep.
Yeah, very cute little game. I say cute in a horror way.
No, I think it's good fun. I think it's a really, really fun little game. A terrifying fun little game.
Yes.
Realistically, if you're listening to this, you know whether or not you want to play this by now. Like, so I'm not going to recommend this or not recommend it, because I think you know, listener, if you want to play this or not by the time. And maybe we should have put a spoiler warning, because we basically told you everything about this game.
I mean, you can add one in.
I'll see how I feel at the time.
But also, I think it's like a very different take on a farming game.
Yes.
Like, it's very simple, again. Yes, very simple farming mechanics.
Yeah.
Very different than your standard farming game story.
Yes. And hey, it's not capitalist.
Yeah.
Which is very rare for a farming game.
You are only making money so that you can get your boat to work, so you can survive.
Yep. Well, wait, no, that sounds like capitalism.
No, because you're just trying to get off the island, essentially. That's how I view it.
Making money to survive, that sounds like capitalism.
Okay. I see what you're saying. However,
it's capitalism.
However, who are you buying the stuff from? I don't know.
Well, that is a good question.
Nobody.
That is a good question. Why is it like? Is this just?
It's the crow. The crow has set up this whole.
The crow's master plan.
The crow just wanted shiny coins.
There's no flying enemy. Nothing can get the crow when it's flying. That's all I'm saying. I
think I solved it. Oh, did you update your outfits at all?
No.
I did not either.
No, I didn't.
I was like, I don't have time for cosmetics.
No, come on.
I saw somebody else did that, and I was like, who are you? What are you doing?
Yeah, we're trying to survive here. We're trying to not get killed by skinwalkers.
Yeah.
Goodness me.
Okay. Very good little game. I really did like it.
Awesome. Well, thank you for joining me to talk about this horrifying nightmare fuel.
Thanks for falling for my ploy to get you to play another rogue.
Yeah,
whatever.
so I've figured out, because I've read through, I figured out what happened. You mentioned this when the game first came out, and I went, interesting, and I put it in my list of things to look at some point. And then a few weeks ago, when I was trying to plan things, I went, maybe I should do that. And I went and asked you, because I thought you would be a good Halloween person to do this game with. I'm forgetting that you were the one that originally, so I suggested the podcast episode.
Oh, that's
but
so
you
funny.
had originally told me about the game. I just forgot about it.
Because I think when I first mentioned it, you were like, okay, so we'll talk about this in October. But that was like in August or whatever, when it first came up.
I think it was early. It was earlier than that. I think it was like May.
Oh, maybe. I don't remember when. But I know when I first brought it up, you were like, okay, so you're going to play it and then we'll talk about it. And I said, okay, sure.
Yeah, I don't. And then I completely forgot all about that and came up with my own idea of the same thing later on. Classic me. Taking credit for someone else's suggestion.
And then it just worked out perfect that you were like, hey, let's talk about Hades for the greenhouse. That's another one. Because
again, I had suggested doing that before I realized this was a roguelike. So happy rogue-ish game week.
I think it's funny too, because I think when you said you want to talk about it, I was like, oh, I thought that was the plan already. Not Hades, the pumpkin game.
Hence why I forgot. Anyway, thank you, Kelly, for joining me to talk about this.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, listeners, for listening. Kelly, where can people find you on the internet?
If you type in Ralamu somewhere, I'll pop up. I don't know. I don't really use social media that much.
That's fine. You don't have to be found. Not everybody has to be found on the internet.
So if you want to go on a journey, just you could search the internet for that name. It'll come up somewhere.
Just go on an interesting
Easter egg hunt or something.
Link.
Yeah.
Hole.
Listen, I'm the only one who uses the name, so it's great. I don't have to add numbers to it or anything.
You can find me on mastodon.scot or Twitter as the Scottbot. You can find the podcast on Tumblr or Twitter as @THSpod. You can find links to everything we've talked about in the show notes, which are also on the website, harvestseason.club, where you can also find a feedback form. If you want to give us some feedback, you can do that there. You can also find the link to the Patreon. Give me some money, and you can get extra episodes of the podcast, including one coming out in a few days, where, as we've mentioned already, me and Kelly talk about Hades, and good news, we're still friends.
Listen, I think, we survived Hollow Knight.
Well, I liked Hollow Knight.
No, I know. But there was still, that's not your style of game.
No, I absolutely, I like Metroidvanias.
Oh, do you? I thought maybe it's the roguishness of it then.
Well,
it's not too bad.
It's not though, because it has the one thing I said about Hades was if it had checkpoints, I would like it.
That's true.
There are checkpoints in.
That's very true.
That is exactly what Metroidvanias are like, roguelites, but with checkpoints.
That's very
true. It's
true.
The one thing I don't like about that style of game. They have. I like it.
That's fair. Okay, I take it back.
I still haven't finished it just because I've not got back into it.
It's a long game. I mean, there's a lot to do in it.
Yeah, and the problem was when I put it down, I was at a really difficult boss. So
that's always hard to get back to.
Yeah, so I will do it eventually. Probably when Silksong comes out, I'll go, I should probably finish this. Yep, so there are other episodes as well of the Greenhouse. Let's see what else we've got recently. Just to give you a taste of other things, there was a Kevin and Spencer episode about Godzilla. And then before that, Kevin and Johnny talked about Sonic characters. And Johnny had so little Sonic knowledge that he literally only knew one character's name, and it was Sonic. He didn't even know Tails or Knuckles. Nope.
Rogue the Bat?
Nope. I don't know why that is your how did somebody not know about this character?
Because I feel like the internet loves Rogue Bat.
Yeah, I know, but it's still Sonic and Tails and Knuckles, I think, are the three.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
You know. So that was very fun. And there'll be some more upcoming as well when I eventually get someone to talk to me about the Pokemon DLC, because no one wants to talk to me about that.
I didn't even play the game.
See, that's why. All the usuals haven't played the DLC. Oh,
I didn't even play the main game.
It's fine. I'm sure Micah will have played it.
There you go.
I'm doing an episode with him soon.
There you go. So. Perfect.
All right. I think that's everything. So thank you again, Kelly, for joining me.
Thank you again for having me. It's always fun.
And until next time, farmers, have a good harvest. The Harvest Season is created by Al McKinley, with support from our patrons, including our pro farmers, Kevin, Stuart, and Elisa. Our art is done by Micah the Brave, and our music is done by Nick Burgess. Feel free to visit our website, harvestseason.club, for show notes and links to things we discussed in this episode.